Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to the wide world of wrestling. My name's Simon Tackler. Joining me as always, Neil Walters. Neil, you ready to talk some wrestling?
Well, it's all I've got to talk about. So yet again, let's get straight into it.
Yeah, before the rest of the world resumes work, wrestling has not stopped. And geez, it's been a pretty big week. We've seen Mike Tyson get involved. We've seen Rob Gronkowski make his long-awaited return as well. Everyone's
been gagging for that to kick back off, as that's been the number one question in wrestling: is when's Rob coming back?
Gagging for Gronk. That should be it. Hashtag gagging for Gronk.
Good. That should be our podcast name, Gagging for Gronk.
Yeah, your favorite Gronkowski only podcast. Well, let's start with Raw. Was that the biggest thing to happen on the WWE side of things this week? Might have been.
Yeah, like I hate to say it, but yes, it is a little bit coming up to a pay-per-view. Obviously, we've got a couple of weeks until Backlash, but yeah, it's kind of setting everything up. I think you'll see the Gronk's scheduled to be on Raw. Is it next week?
I think so.
You'd think he's only got one appearance in him. There's no way whichever team he's playing for is going to let him take a bump on a pay-per-view or anything like that. So I'd say Gronk's first and last appearance will be next week on Raw for sure.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny though, because he's got the title, so he can either hold them up Jeff Jarrett style and say, "Hey, you want me to drop this belt? Pay me on the way out," or they screw him over Brett style because he doesn't want to drop the title. They should totally do a screw job.
Good luck getting anybody to try and pin him, though, like when it's not realistic. Imagine being told, hey, you've got to put the Gronk on his back and hold him there for 3 seconds. That's not going to happen. Yeah, unless he can convince someone to, put him in a sharpshooter and get the ref to ring the bell. So anyway, we could be seeing, the Tampa Bay screw job or wherever they are. Let's get to his promo, though, because this was... I don't know if it was really bad or really good. It was sort of like on the line. Man, I couldn't hate the sunglasses anymore.
This was my favorite bit. He takes off the sunnies and he's clearly only looking at his teleprompter.
Like, why take the sunnies off? Has his shirt Gronk Mania? Come on, man.
Also, what was with the really harsh neck crank there? Like he had neck pain that we should know about. It was really weird.
Look, he's got like a goiter in his neck too. Like looks like he's got a big lump on the right side of his neck. That is so weird. Oh, he's such a hit. Like they should have done a storyline with him and Matt Riddle, the weird bros, back of his eyes in the back of his head. Look at him.
He was proud of that. He thinks no one's ever done that before. It's
a weird turnaround. I can't handle it. Like he's just the strangest person ever. And to have R-Truth and him in a feud where both of them basically don't know how to speak English, it's amazing.
I think that's kind of the fun of it. Like these two weirdos, maybe they're trying to do it like, okay, R-Truth is our weirdo, Gronk is their weirdo. Yeah, should have kept the shades on though, because honestly, when he started, I thought, damn, this guy's cutting a good promo. And then,
And then you clearly see that he's looking straight at a teleprompter and that's it. They've got the world's worst teleprompter too, because he's looking like down there. It's like normal teleprompters, you can look straight at the camera and it's right there.
Yeah, it's meant to be
cue cards or something.
Yeah, your line of sight. It's meant to like say I'm looking at it now. It should be, oh, wow, he's still looking at the camera, not, and I will get you truth and just looking down at his lap. That was weird. Also on Raw, Edge cut another promo about the greatest wrestling match ever, and I still think this is a setup for something. Like, there is no way they're just going to go out there and be like, all right, here we go, half an hour.
Yeah, like the name in itself, kind of, there's something happening. Yeah. Like there has to be a screwy finish or, it has to set up a stipulation for a Hell in a Cell or a TLC match or something pretty hectic, because if they just have a normal wrestling match here and it doesn't have a screwy finish and it's not incredible, then what the hell's the point of calling it the greatest wrestling match of all time?
Yeah, no, it's got to be just a trick, a plan. They're setting us up because even Edge's promo, and have you seen the ad for it? the ad for this match was running and shows them through their career, and then it plays the Panic at the Disco greatest show from The Greatest Showman. And it's like, yeah, you're taking the piss. This is a setup.
Yeah. I think you'll see maybe Christian get involved or something like that, where it's setting up the next storyline for Edge, because I don't think that it's Edge going forward is going to be just him and Orton for the next 6 months or whatever. Like, I think this sets up whatever his next match is. And I'd like to see a Christian come back maybe, or something along those lines.
Can he wrestle though?
Well, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't think if you have Christian come back and attack him, or just even set something up for a couple of months' time for like a SummerSlam kind of thing. Edge versus Christian at SummerSlam would be huge. So what if it's while he's training kind of thing? He just, screws him over every single week. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that could be. Like, we don't know anyone's medical history because people make comebacks, seemingly all the time now. What if Christian did ruin this and he says, it's the greatest match because you two are in it. What about me? I've had each of your greatest match. And then they can have an even greatest match.
Or, see, this is why I wish Jeff Hardy was still on Raw, though. Because imagine Jeff Hardy versus Edge at SummerSlam in a ladder match or something. That would just be as good as it can possibly get.
Doing that one more time.
Well, Edge isn't really stuck to a brand, though, is he? So what if...
Surely not, yeah.
What if at SummerSlam you've got... Like, Jeff Hardy's obviously going to win the Intercontinental title. What if it's Jeff Hardy and then Edge at SummerSlam for the title in a ladder match?
That's kind of funny because it feels like that should have happened 20 years ago. Those two guys fighting for the IC belt in a ladder match.
Yeah. That's weird that it never happened. Like, it happened in a World Heavyweight Championship. They had a ladder match, I think.
But never for the IC title. I think they were at different levels for a while, and it was only years later they sort of both made it to the top.
And Edge kind of shot through it too. He was like tag team, solo run for a little bit, bang, straight into being World Heavyweight Champion on and off for like 5 years or whatever it was.
Yeah, and won like 10 titles. Yeah.
In a very short space of time.
Yeah, like everyone did. Him and Orton both being like 10-time champs is weird because they did it in short times. I think everyone did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was back in that period where you could change it and it wasn't really a problem.
Yeah, them two, Cena and Triple H, for those like 5 years or whatever, everyone was just, back and forth with the belts. It was kind of fun though.
Well, the only champion now really that's like a 10-time or anything like that that's still in the game would probably be Charlotte Flair. She's touting the whole 10-time thing a lot.
Yeah. Everyone
Everyone else is nowhere near that, really. That's still in title contention.
Yeah. I think someone like Rollins has a shot at getting up there just because he's already won a few and he's seemingly got a long time to go. Yeah.
As long as he doesn't have a dad bod going forward, he still has to keep the rig if the kid doesn't run him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid's not there yet, though.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Roman Reigns has a bunch of kids. He's still in good shape, or we assume he is. Yeah. Wherever he is, wherever Roman Reigns is, I'm sure he's in great shape. It's kind of weird that he just disappeared.
It makes sense. But it's weird. It's a weird thing to talk about, but the way that they're saying how WWE came out and said, yep, if you don't want to wrestle, it's perfectly fine. But then they've basically you're not allowed to talk about Roman, and Sami Zayn got stripped of his title. It's like, well, is it okay to say no at the moment? And it seems like people are being rewarded for wrestling, such as Asuka's now champion.
And Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews, yeah, he's there every week. So it's a weird little setup they've got going on at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're saying they want crowds back by July. So we'll see if things change. If crowds come back, does that mean we see some of these other people who've been sort of on the shelf? Would they come back, or are they still willing to hold out? So I don't know.
Well, you saw on Raw this week how you had the hockey kind of setup with the boards around it, which I really like the hockey board kind of idea, because you can have people banging on the boards. It makes more noise. Someone's going through the boards obviously very soon. I think as soon as Brock Lesnar comes back, someone's being chucked straight through one.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. And if that means that you can have 10,000 people in an arena because there's no contact between the crowd and the performers, then, why not?
Yeah, it's actually not bad. I think that could lead to a good vibe, when the crowd's there. The other thing from Raw next week, we've got Rey Mysterio retiring. Yep, big quotation marks for that one. One of the ideas I've heard being thrown around, supposedly, could lead to hair versus mask with Rollins and Ray. That'd be fun. It feels like Ray wanted to do that with Andrade. I feel like for 2 years for WrestleManias, everyone was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be Andrade and Ray. Mask versus hair. It didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know if... See, Ray losing his mask at this stage, I just don't know. Would it make any sense? Like, do we really want to see this dude... Everyone knows what he looks like without his mask on because he did it back in WCW.
And the network and the internet exists. You can just look at it.
Yeah. So is there really much point of, like, I'd love to see Rollins lose his hair. That would be sick. And
I think that's where they go.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had long hair his whole career. We've never seen this guy with short hair, really, unless he found, like, some super old indie stuff. But the long hair has been his thing forever. So, and I don't know, like, maybe him and the other dudes can shave their heads too. He can make Murphy and Austin Theory do it as well.
Straight up doing the old CM Punk angle of shaving his head and then making everyone else do it.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. And then it really gives their group a bit of a sort of a connected look and a vibe, Because right now they sort of okay, I get it. They're all sort of sad guys, but maybe having the same haircut would help too.
Yeah, and while we're on weird kind of groups, what's happened to this hacker? Is it just gone away?
Did they have a vignette on SmackDown last week? Is this a thing they've given up on? This happens every now and then. An angle starts and then they just get rid of it.
I hope not. It was kind of setting it up. Maybe I thought that it was going to be a group of them rather than just one person. But yeah, I hope they haven't given up. Maybe at Backlash, we'll see something. Yeah, Money in the Bank. They when like the promo before Money in the Bank, when whoever it was typing in the code, that was the date of Money in the Bank. And everyone's like, oh, it's going to happen here. It's going to have some kind of effect, but nothing happened.
Yeah, if we don't see a promo this week on SmackDown, I'm going to assume this is something they've just given up on.
Yeah, which is weird because it's got a bit of traction to it.
Yeah, I think people were intrigued.
Anything that gets anyone saying, is this CM Punk, which is insane. Like, you're going to bring back CM Punk in front of no crowds and not at Chicago. Like, that'd be the stupidest decision of all time. But, what happens? Maybe this is the Christian angle. What if it's Christian?
Yeah, maybe. He's been away for years and he learnt to hack, Well, there was
He's been coding.
Yeah, because there was the whole thing a couple of years ago, learn to code when old people were complaining about not having jobs. Christian did it. He's like, I will learn to code and I'll hack the WWE.
Christian the coder.
Yes. What a weird, that would be. Yeah, I'm for it. That'd be the weirdest gimmick change ever.
Who cares about gimmicks at this point? Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is up in the air. Everything's up for the taking. Actually, something from SmackDown I want to bring up. We haven't discussed it. But the Forgotten Sons, have you seen their promos where they have a disclaimer before them now?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think they're just testing the waters at the moment with the weirdness kind of levels. Like, look at what the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders are doing.
Yeah.
It is genuinely the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. Like, the change of a character. The Viking Raiders used to be, the War Machine. They were the most hectic kind of stable you've ever seen. They never lost. And then now they're playing golf against the Street Profits.
Yeah. So they're just going for it with these characters. But with the Forgotten Sons, with what they're doing, sort of really towing that fine line with sort of how right-wing the Forgotten Sons are being presented and them standing up for, that kind of American pride and whatever. How on earth do you continue that with what's happening right now? with
they've got
the riots in Minneapolis.
After what's happened,
just drop
they
this.
scrap it. I'd probably see them go back to NXT, and that's just see ya. Like we need to stop doing that immediately.
I know they're on Fox. They would have to have the biggest balls for them to come out and say, "Hey, respect our police. What you're doing is disgusting." If they double down on it, that'd be the most insane thing ever.
There's no way. Vince is a madman, but not that mad.
That is the gimmick, though. Like, that is the gimmick, and we're now seeing a serious, sad, real-life situation. If they come out and even allude to it, that is, the balls
on them.
Yeah, and because they're kind of feuding with the New Day as well. Do they really want to do this on TV? I don't know.
Man, it's
super uncomfortable.
No way.
Also, is one of them not in the army, though? Because, like, one of them is like, I was a Marine, and this dude was in the army. And he hangs out with us. Like, there's the third one who I'm pretty sure
he's number 3. And we needed 3, and that guy is it.
He sort of looks like us. Yeah, it's a weird gimmick. That's sort of what's going on in the WWE. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to discuss from it?
No, that's pretty much it. The only thing is, are we saying that Jeff Hardy is definitely going to be Intercontinental Champion?
I think so. Like, who's left? Jeff, Bryan,
Daniel Bryan, Elias, and AJ.
Yeah.
I think AJ versus Jeff Hardy is huge.
Yeah. Well, who's on the other side? Could it be Bryan and AJ?
Yeah, Daniel Bryan versus Hardy is next up, which is next week. And
Sheamus could cost Hardy his match.
Yeah, I don't buy the Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy thing. That's not that interesting.
No. I feel like we've seen it, but not really.
Yeah, it's like when anybody pairs up with King Corbin. You're just like, really? I don't see how this is going to hold my interest for more than like a week, and you're going to run it for 7.
Oh, they're going to run this for so long. If they're doing Hardy and Sheamus, it's going to go for like 3 months. That'll
be a SummerSlam finish up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, at this time in his career, Jeff Hardy's got the 3 moves, and that's it. Like, you know when he's going to win, because the second someone's there for a swanton, he's not missing that swanton. So it's pretty much all over from there. Like, his last match, he won with a roll up. So you're like,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like Styles could win it because he was moved from Raw to SmackDown. I don't know if that matters, but at the same time, he keeps calling out The Undertaker. It feels like they're going to continue that with one more match.
Yeah, I think that's where the Undertaker doco is going, is one more match with Styles. If they do Survivor Series, it's the anniversary this year of when he debuted, isn't it? 30 years or whatever it is.
Wow, it is.
Pretty sure it's this year. So if they do Survivor Series, AJ versus The Undertaker, AJ beats him, and it's a banger, then you think with how this documentary's been kind of setting everything up, he's chasing the dragon of that one more match, then that would probably be it.
But then the match sucks and they do the lastest ride and he just never ends.
Yeah. I just on the Undertaker thing, like, you've been up to date with it?
Yeah. And they're taking a couple of weeks off before continuing it, though, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, I have no idea why. There's probably some holidays or something coming up in the States. But yeah, it's easily the best thing they've ever done. Like, having this kind of like the last match where you get to see the behind the scenes of the Australian pay-per-view and everyone, that fifth wall that they're kind of breaking down with seeing them before the match talk about the match in the ring. We've never seen that on WWE TV at all. That is straight up showing that they're showing how they script everything. It's like, wow, they're really breaking this down here and going behind the scenes. And I think this is up there with one of the best sporting docos I've ever seen too, not just WWE ones.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Watching it, though, watching this episode, they never really addressed why or why not, but it sort of reminded me of what I thought at the time at WrestleMania 28. Why didn't it just finish there? We all thought it was, like me and my friends who were watching, it was leading up to 20-0. It was end of an era. It was Hell in a Cell. It was blah, blah, blah. Why wasn't that just the end? We thought that's what it meant. Well, I assume everyone did. End of an era, and it was 20-0, and he broke character and took the bow with Shawn and Triple H. But they never really said why he didn't think, oh, yeah, I did. because he kept saying he was jealous of Sean for having a perfect ending.
That was kind of the perfect ending. I think that's when the Saudi money got thrown on the table.
Well, it was a few years later, though.
Yeah, but that's when they were kind of organising everything. So maybe there was some offers thrown on the table then, rather than it being this is it.
Yeah, I don't know. So it was really weird because then what? He has one more match with Punk, which is good. That match is very good. But just ending on 20-0. End of an era. Was everyone else dropping hints to him and he wasn't picking up what they were putting down? They're like, hey, maybe we're going to call this end of an era.
Not done.
And he was like, I don't get it. And they're like, take a bow at the end. It's 20-0. Yeah. Nah.
I don't get it. I've got that photo hanging above my thing now. It keeps me going. What?
Yeah. Triple H like probably spewing.
It's like getting like a severance letter from your employer. Oh, I'll use this to make my next job interview really, really well. It's like, hang on, just keep going.
Yeah. That's actually funny. Triple H sent him that and Taker called him. He's like, thanks, man. This is giving me another match? 10 years. Yeah. God damn it. Can't get rid of it.
Is this you saying that we should do another match? No.
Yeah. Let's do it in 5 years in Australia for some reason. What else from that? I thought it was great seeing the outtake of the Taker and Kane promo where they're like, we've got 3 words for you.
Yeah, the DX thing. Go fuck yourself. That was, I couldn't believe that. Like it got sent to our group beforehand and I was pissing myself laughing. I was like, as if they're showing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. We need that. We need outtakes of promos because I'm sure there's good ones. Yeah.
There's going to be tons of them too.
Yeah. That was fun. And you wouldn't think Taker is the guy to do it.
No.
Because that seemed like a perfect take. And he was like, whatever. Yeah. So, last ride, it's good. We'll see what those last 2 episodes bring. But next week, in its place, they're doing something interesting. They're showing something called Sting, the Lost Tapes. And supposedly this is some backstage footage that WCW shot for some reason in like 93, I think, leading up to a Starrcade match. And they're just going to show that. They've recut it as their own little doco.
Wow. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And supposedly from social media, you can't tell if Sting is cool with this or not because he's been tweeting about AEW and supposedly his WWE contracts run out. So the fact that they're showing this now, very, very weird.
Yeah, I wonder if it's those kind of things is they had to wait until his contract was done because now they can do whatever they want with him.
Oh, yeah, because he might have objected to it.
Yeah, and going, no, I'm under contract. You can't do this. You can't do that or whatever. And maybe now they're coming out and going, well, you're out of contract. You're going off to AEW. Here's something that you said no to, but now we're allowed to do whatever we want with.
Yeah, and I hope they just take like out of context talking head interviews with him and just put it in this.
Make him look really terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Make him look like a complete arsehole.
Yeah. This match was good, and then it's him falling over in the ring or something.
But the whole Simpsons thing is like, this match was really good.
Yeah. Or like Rock Bottom really when he's doing the interview.
AEW.
They're like, Sting, stop it. And he's like, just the freeze frame.
Like, Sting, do you like AEW? No, I do not.
Yeah. I only watch WWE.
Yeah. And NXT. With the T put in from something completely different. NXT.
Well, hey, speaking of NXT, the big thing to happen there was this crazy cage match, the Fight Pit. It feels like this probably could have been on a pay-per-view, but the rumor is Matt Riddle's getting called up to SmackDown very soon.
I hope so.
Yeah, so
I
it looks
love
like
Matt Riddle so much.
They rushed through this so quick. It was like, okay, Pete Dunne's gone, teams with Timothy Thatcher, they're still champs, now they're not champs, now they fought, now they had a cage match. It all happened in like 3 weeks.
I didn't watch NXT for like a week, and then I was like, hang on, how the hell did this happen? It's like, what? Weren't they just they were together a minute ago, and now they're doing some weird cage match that's like a UFC, but not like
with Kurt Angle as the ref.
Yeah, why did Kurt Angle come back?
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't have any refs.
Let's just take a look at the big highlight from it, though. So Matt Riddle in the Fight Pit. Timothy Thatcher's down. Matt Riddle is on the edge. They had like a walkway at the top of the cage, almost like the old UFC cage or like the old what did they call it when they did it in like 98 with Ken Shamrock? The Lion's Den. with that. Yeah.
I love this setup. Like, I really love this setup. I think being able to have cameramen up there instead of shooting through the cage, it's so sick.
Yeah, it's actually a good idea, even for a standard cage match. But yeah, Matt Riddle doing his flying thing, man, this looked like a really brutal fight. Like,
I think Riddle losing is kind of the whole, then he's definitely going to SmackDown pretty soon.
Yeah, to be choked
if he
out
wins,
like that.
That's kind of the end of it. And I hope he does, because if Riddle goes to SmackDown, and then imagine a AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle match, I'd be all over that shit like white on rice. Like, that is huge.
Brian and Matt Riddle.
Oh,
I feel like it'd be similar to that. They would just kill each other.
I just hope they don't ruin his character, because he's very easy to ruin if they play it the wrong way. If they write for him where it's annoying, at the moment you either love him or you hate him, and that's perfect. If it gets to the point where you're either an idiot because you don't understand the character and it's annoying, and it's great, where you're just like, oh, this guy's a bro, like, there's way more to him. But if they like overplay the character and make him look like he's part of the Street Profits or something, where he dresses stupid or anything like that.
He already does dress stupid though. Like, what he wears to the ring with the weird swimsuit shirt and the flip-flops.
Yeah.
The fine line.
Sick. If he doesn't dress like a frat boy though.
No,
if they dress him up like a frat boy and like put those Gronkowski glasses on him, and like, if they dress him like Gronk, right?
Oh man,
they dress him like Gronk, it's over.
If he comes out to help Gronk next week and that's his debut, and they both wear the shades and dance with Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, that's going to happen, isn't it?
Like, it's a fine line though between, if you didn't really know them and you said someone explain Mojo Rawley's just character, not wrestling, Mojo Rawley and Matt Riddle. I think to a lot of people, what's the difference? They both say like bro a lot and wear funny clothes. Yeah.
Could be exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Gronk's going to be there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah. Anyway,
talking about weird shit, Mike Tyson.
All right, let's get to AEW. But actually, hold on, just quickly before we get to Tyson, the other big thing from AEW, of course, FTR making their debut, formerly the Revival, rocking up in their Chevy.
I think it's mighty strange the way they did it, especially because the Young Bucks and the Revival, it's meant to be this huge feud, and then they just come out and don't do anything.
Yeah, they beat up Butcher and the Blade.
Andy Williams there, looking massive as always.
He's huge.
Every time I die is Andy Williams. I love him.
He's massive. I like that he's growing his hair out and the Blade has shaved his. It's kind of funny.
You kind of have to save it for a pay-per-view, obviously.
Yeah, I think they're trying to build up that the FTR were trying to say, like, hey, we're not your friends, but we're better than you, so we can save you because you couldn't have done it yourself.
Yeah. And they do, but I tell you what, the Revival look huge here. Like,
isn't that funny? They sort of did. Yeah. They seem like a big deal.
I'd like to see them like use a bunch of the Young Bucks moves and just like, they look a lot bigger than what they did. They've been hitting the weights.
I also think it's just a scaling thing. It's the same way how like Billy Gunn is the giant of AEW.
Yeah.
But back in the WWE, he was like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the match. I think with all the hype, with everything we've expected from this match, it better be the best tag team match ever. I think it's going to be damn good.
They should promote it as that. They should say this is the best tag team match ever, just to spit on the whole Orton thing.
And then straight up have the greatest tag match ever. Look,
it could be, for sure.
Man, I'll be honest. I think the Young Bucks and Paige and Kenny Omega was fucking amazing from a few months ago. Yeah. And this could be even better.
Well, talking about the best matches of all time, if they do Jericho versus Mike Tyson, this will be the greatest thing you've ever seen.
All right.
I like that they're just playing it up as the Stone Cold angle again. But
yeah, they did the same thing. But now each guy has a group of like named people with them.
Yeah.
Let's just bring it back a little bit and hear some of Jericho's promo. This was so weird. Mike Tyson just reacting like a weirdo.
Tyson doesn't look like he doesn't know where he is. The shirt rip is the most pathetic thing ever. He can't do it.
He couldn't rip it.
Stops and he's like, I don't know what to do. Should I take it off? Oh man.
I'll just wear it. And he just starts posing.
How does Jericho not laugh? Jericho's one of the greatest actors ever. Look at that. How's Jericho not pissing himself laughing?
I know, with Tyson just flexing, and there's the push and the push back. Big brawl.
Yeah, look, it's cool. You know they're going to do it. It's going to be a one-punch kind of thing. Like Tyson's just going to knock him out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way. If you want to write Jericho off for a little bit, then you get Tyson and knock him out.
Well, I don't know. Jericho said in an interview he believes Tyson could have a good match in AEW. I think I don't think so. Tyson really doesn't look like he knows where he is. Like, it could be fun if they do Tyson Jericho with the Inner Circle and Tyson's mates as lumberjacks, and just spread it out and do a bunch of things on the outside with team up, pair up each person. Because man, Tyson has some big names with him: Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, that Henry Cejudo guy, or however you say his name. I actually don't know.
Look.
And Mickey Gooch, that guy with the eye paint. I had to Google who the hell he was. He's just an actor.
I'd really like to see them build this up over 6 or 7 weeks and have Jericho being trained by the Inner Circle to box. Yeah. That's funny.
Because Jake Hager can, teach him mixed martial arts, and the Proud and Powerful can teach him, their street fighting, the tiger style that Ortiz always does, and Sammy Guevara can teach him flips and whatever.
There's comedy value in there for sure. And that's obviously all the Inner Circle's about.
I think that's the way they should go. I'm looking forward to it. But I was really surprised that Tyson was flanked by all these big name MMA guys. I think they could get something out of that too. And
they've all got nothing to do at the moment. So it's not like, what else are you going to do? Fly down to Florida and just make a dick of yourself for 10 minutes on TV. Like, why not?
Yeah. Looked like fun. From what I read, that guy with the eye paint, he was just one of Tyson's friends and just sort of wanted to get on TV. He also used to date Rebel Wilson. I've never heard of him before, but there you go.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Rebel Wilson is a good wrestling name, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's not a good actor.
We're assuming not a good wrestler either, but who knows? Yeah. We'll see. They could do that crossover one day for Super Showdown 2 in Melbourne.
Well, her and Nia Jax, that'd be a good match.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They do look the same, so that'd be an interesting match.
Nia Jax was born in Sydney as well, so you could do, the two Aussie girls going at it. Rebel Wilson, Nia Jax, book it for Super Showdown 2. Sydney at the SCG. Well, on that strange note, maybe we'll wrap this up.
That's what we call this one. Nia Jax versus Rebel Wilson?
Yeah, with a question mark. Yeah. And then, of course, #gagging for Gronk. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Can't wait for that one. It's going to be huge. Anyway, this has been fun. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about the Tyson fallout, the Gronk fallout. Neil, it's been fun.
Thanks, mate.
Catch you later.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.